All right, let's talk about the engine that powers pretty much all of modern AI. It's called backpropagation. It's the core algorithm that actually lets a neural network learn from its mistakes. So how on earth does it work? Let's dive in.
It really all boils down to this one big question. As people, we learn from experience all the time. But how do you actually program a machine to do that? How can a piece of code look at a mistake it just made and have any idea how to fix itself for the next time around? Well, the answer is actually surprisingly simple and kinda elegant. Instead of trying to get everything perfect from the start, the machine just makes a guess, sees how wrong it is, and then works backward from that single mistake, adjusting itself just a tiny bit every step of the way.
Okay, so let's dig into this idea of learning from mistakes, because it's not just some fuzzy concept, right? It's a really precise mathematical process. So here's the formal definition. Backpropagation is the method of taking the network's error, that's just the gap between its guess and the correct answer, and sending that error signal backward through the network to tweak all those internal connections, what we call its weights.
This quote from the pioneers of the field gives us this fantastic analogy. Imagine the network's total error as this massive, hilly landscape. The goal is to get to the lowest valley, the point with the absolute minimum error. Backpropagation uses a technique called gradient descent, which is basically like standing on a hill in the fog and always taking a step in the steepest downward direction. Eventually, you're going to find the bottom. And this is what that network structure usually looks like. It's pretty straightforward, actually. Data, say the pixels from an image, flows in through the input layer. It gets processed and chewed on by these crucial hidden layers in the middle. That's where the real pattern detection happens. And finally, the output layer spits out the guess. Backpropagation's whole job is to adjust the strength of the connections between all these little guys. All right, now for the really cool part. Let's get into the mechanics. I love to call this next bit the backward blame game, because it's really what it is. The network figuring out exactly which of its connections were most responsible for the screw-up. The whole learning thing is basically a four-step loop, and it happens over and over, sometimes millions of times. First up, the forward pass. Data flows through and the network makes a guess. Second, it calculates the error. Third, and this is the clever part, the backward pass kicks in and it assigns blame for that error to every single connection. And finally, it updates the weights just a tiny bit, hoping to make a better guess next time. Now, this whole blame game isn't some kind of magic trick. It's just really clever math. The whole thing is powered by a cornerstone of calculus called the chain rule. You can think of the chain rule as what lets the network figure out the ripple effect of every single connection. It answers the question, if I change this little knob just a smidge, how much will that affect the final answer? It's the engine that passes the blame backward, layer by layer. Okay, theory is great, but let's see how this thing actually works in the wild. We're going to look at convolutional neural networks. You'll hear them called CNNs, which are basically the rock stars behind most modern image recognition. So in a CNN, that forward pass we talked about looks a little different. It uses a small filter, imagine a little magnifying glass, that slides across the entire input image, looking for one specific thing, like a vertical edge or a patch of green. This sliding process is called a convolution. But here is the absolutely beautiful part. This is what's so cool. When the network needs to learn from a mistake, the backward pass to update that very same filter, it's also a convolution. It literally uses the same fundamental operation to learn as it does to see. It's just so elegant. And it doesn't stop there. The pattern just keeps going. To pass that error signal even further back to the layer before it, guess what? The network performs another convolution. It's convolutions all the way down. So this is the key takeaway, the big so what. In these insanely powerful vision networks, the same exact mathematical tool, convolution, is used both to look at the world and to learn from its mistakes about the world. It's just an incredibly efficient and beautiful design.
Okay, but being such a good learner can actually be a problem. There's a huge challenge here. Making sure the network is actually learning a concept and not just, memorizing the answers to the test.
This image from one of the foundational papers shows the problem perfectly. A really powerful network can bend and twist itself, that's that wiggly oscillating line, to hit every single data point perfectly. But in doing that, it hasn't learned the trend. It's just memorized the random noise in the data. And that's a huge problem we call overfitting.
And this really breaks down the difference, right? On the left, you've got what we want, generalization. That smooth line gets the general idea, so it's going to do a good job on new stuff it hasn't seen before. But on the right, that's overfitting.
That crazy line has perfectly memorized the training data, but the second you show it something new, it's going to be completely lost.
So how do we fight this? How do we stop it from just memorizing? Well, one of the most popular tricks is something called weight decay. Basically, while it's training, we tell the network, hey, we're going to penalize you for making any of your connections too strong. This kind of forces it to find simpler, more elegant solutions. Think of it like Occam's razor, but for AI. The simplest explanation is usually the best.
All right, to wrap things up, let's go back to the real heart of the network, those kind of mysterious, hidden layers. What is actually going on in there that makes them so powerful?
This picture explains exactly why you need them. Look at the problem on the left. It's linearly separable, which is just a fancy way of saying you can draw a single straight line to divide the two groups. A simple network could solve that, no problem. But now look at the one on the right. See, there's no way a single straight line can separate the A's from the B's. It's just too tangled up.
And this is the magic of hidden units. They learn to create a whole new representation of the data. They can take that tangled mess of a problem we just saw, and they transform it into a new space where the problem becomes simple, where a straight line can now do the job. They're basically feature detectors that make the final decision incredibly easy.
So when you boil it all down, it comes back to this one incredibly powerful idea. You make a guess, you see how wrong you were, and you work your way backward to fix it. That simple little loop is the engine that drives so much of what we call artificial intelligence today. Which kind of leaves us with this one huge question. With an engine this powerful, what are we going to teach it to learn next?